Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're making Chinese donuts, which is also called Chinese fritters. These are very popular in China as one of the traditional breakfast. Crispy outside, a little bit chewy inside with some big holes and even texture. The perfect ones can keep crispy for a long time. I have tried so many recipes and methods, it's really hard to get it. And finally, I got the right way to make it. Today I'm gonna share it with you. If you failed many times of making it, after this video, you will get it. Here's the recipe. Before we get started, here are some tips. First, we need all-purpose flour. In different countries, flour has different protein content. Here we're looking for 9 to 12% of protein. 10% is better. If your flour has higher protein content, mix some with oil first, or switch 50 grams to cake flour. Second, we need to make sure baking powder and baking soda both work. Add some baking powder into water. We can see small bubbles. And test the baking soda, we need to let it react with vinegar. You see the fast reaction? If these don't happen, that means you need to get new ones. But baking soda here does not act as a leavener. We'll see later. About the frying pot, you may use non-stick ones. It's pretty safe unless we heat it up to 400 degrees Celsius, but we don't want to take any risk, right? So skip that. Cast iron ones can keep the temperature, but once we heat it up too hot, the temperature is hard to drop down. It will burn the donuts. So carbon steel ones and stainless steel ones are recommended, especially all-clad. Frying oil. Vegetable oils are all good. Higher smoking points are better. Make sure it's deep enough to let the donuts float. How do we know the temperature? If you have a thermometer, that's perfect. But if you don't, check with a chopstick. When you see small bubbles around it, that means it's ready to fry. The perfect temperature is about 190 to 200 degrees Celsius. Donuts will flow up very quickly and it won't be burned in the oil for 2 minutes. Work with flour or oil, it doesn't matter, just prevent from sticking. Just remember we need to stick two pieces together. Too much oil can make them separate when frying. Don't worry, I'll show you in both ways. Alright, now let's get started. First, we sift all the dry ingredients together and mix well. Add vegetable oil and a large size egg. Stir it a little bit. Add cold water. Don't dump it all in. Leave some to adjust the dough. You can switch water to milk or soy milk. Use butter instead of oil, but that's not the original one though. Look at the dough, it's very sticky. We'll let it rest for a while. Coat it with some oil so it won't dry out. For covering, I like to use a food bag. Cut it out. This one can be reused. It's better than the food film for the environment. 15 minutes in between. We knead the dough 2 more times until it becomes smooth. Coat it with oil and cover it. We can leave it in the fridge overnight or let it rest at room temperature about 2 to 3 hours before frying it. Here I did a test about kneading, like making bread, because some people said if you want to get a better result, you only can fold the dough and gently knead. We'll see what's gonna happen with this really kneaded dough. Here's the regular dough I made this morning. Let's cut it into half. First one, work with flour. Dust the board and the dough with enough flour. Don't knead it. Just stretch it out gently like this. The thickness is most important. It should be about 1 centimeter thick, no less than that. Cut it into 3 centimeters wide and separate them. Some flour in between. Make sure each piece is covered with flour, especially the side, so they won't stick to each other. This is very important. Here's the ones stuck together. See? Especially the sides. The donut will turn out like this. A bow tie. Cover it and let it rest. Now heat up the oil. Test with a chopstick. When we can see 1 or 2 bubbles, that means the temperature is very close. Make a line in the middle with a wet chopstick and cover it. Don't stack them yet. Now we can see more bubbles around the chopstick. The temperature should be about 190 degrees Celsius. Now we stack two pieces together. Press down from the middle with a chopstick to seal it tightly. Make sure both sides are separate. Dust off extra flour and it's ready to go. Be careful, don't pull it over the hot oil, just in case it dropped accidentally. The oil is very hot. Slowly pull it to double size and drop it gently. Turn the heat up a little bit. Now the most important part, fill a knot in the next few minutes. Remember, flip it often when the dough floats up to even out the temperature to make it rise up quickly and correct the shape. Stop flipping when the shape is set. And let it fry for about 30 seconds on one side before flipping. And now we do the next one. Stack them and press down in the middle, pull it and drop it gently. And the first one, now we flip it over. This is the secret to make it crispy. Let one side in the air to cool down a little bit and then we flip it over to refry it. Refry each side about 2 to 3 times until it's golden brown. Don't forget to flip the second one quickly until it rises up and the shape is set. Keep an eye on the oil temperature. If the donut floats up very slow, that means the temperature is too low. Otherwise, if it's getting burned, the temperature is too high. Now the first one is ready. Look at that. It's so crispy. And then we flip over the second one, let it refry. We'll make the third one. Repeat for the rest until finished. Now we'll make another half with oil. Almost the same. Instead of flour, we use oil to prevent from sticking. Stretch it gently, keep 1 centimeter thick. Coat a knife with oil. Cut it into 3 centimeters wide. While we heat up the oil, we just make a line in middle with a chopstick dipped in water. Let the water wet the dough a little bit so it will stick easily. Put 2 ends together. The regular shaped ones, we stack 2 together with water lined inside. Press down in the middle with a chopstick. And pinch 2 ends to make sure they won't loose, because oil surface is not easy to stick. Same frying method. Don't forget, flip it and don't flip it. Wow, look at this. Want to try one? The texture inside, beautiful like butterflies. Let's check inside. Big holes and even texture. The dough in between still keep moisture. This part makes it taste chewy. And now I'll show you why we can't stack them together right away after cutting. This one, see? They stick together and they turn into one piece. When we fry it, you see the seam? This part should be separate. But now just one piece. This is why we fail. But the right frying method can still give it a crispy sound. Check inside, more dense and heavy. These are all filled ones. One piece is more like a regular donut. 2 pieces make a Chinese donut. Remember the dough I kneaded really bad? Well, I also skipped baking soda. Rest at room temperature 3 hours. It's good stretchable. We'll see how it turns out. Surprised? So fluffy. To make sure it's not an accident, I tried another one. Same. But wait, have you noticed that? The color is a little bit different, lighter than regular ones. And still crispy. Now we know baking soda here is not a leavener, just to give the color and some taste. It has same crispy sound. Check inside, same texture. When you try it, you'll know how it tastes different. Thanks for watching. Hope you can make perfect Chinese donuts. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. This is Jessie. See you next time.